and thank you for joining me today. Thanks for coming back. Topic, the subject, the title is Build an Obsessed Team. Okay, this sounds simple. Let me tell you something. The culture we live in today, unless you belong to ISIS, you got an obsession problem. You're not obsessed. John, fix the in your company. I was just yesterday with one of the major 100 corporations in America, and I'm like, you guys got a problem. Okay, really, that's why we brought you in. And it's not your competition. It's not your pricing. It is not your margin. It is that you're average. You are accepting average, and you are going to get eaten up in this space, okay? So now the question is, how do you build a great team? You can't build a great team if you're average. You cannot build a great team if your manager is average. You cannot build a great team with great people if the leadership is not obsessed with the dream. The people that have made a difference on this planet all had one thing in common. Obsessed. Obsessed. From Jesus Christ to Steve Jobs to Donald Trump. Okay? Now, I know you're like, wait a minute, Uncle G, Grant Cardone, okay? Man, bro, you can't do that. You cannot mention Jesus Christ's name, Steve Jobs, and Donald Trump in the same sentence. Yes, I could. I could also throw Hitler in there, all right? I could throw in Einstein. I could throw in Ben Franklin. I could throw in Mother Teresa. I could throw in Mussolini. I could throw in ISIS. I could throw in Bin Laden. Look, you could throw in a drug addict. You could throw in the girl obsessed with the guy, right? I could throw in my daughter that's obsessed with Shopkins. What do these people have in common? An obsession, a fascination with some concept or some idea. Now, you're looking at sales. You're looking at follow-up. You're looking at people making phone calls, okay? My average salesperson here, we got 60 plus people here in Miami, another 20 plus 8, maybe 28 people in Orlando, 100 people in real estate. But what we have in common at all three locations is a leader that is a freak, a fanatic, a beast. He is obsessed. The leader of these groups is obsessed, okay? You cannot, my dad used to say, the apple don't fall far from the tree, okay? Let me tell you something. Average people do not produce obsessed fruit. Average people do not get obsessed results. Average football teams do not win 5 and 6 Super Bowl rings. Okay? Is this problem today with millennials or boomers or everything in between that you're having trouble finding people highly interested? You're having trouble finding people that are really engaged. You're having trouble finding people that are excited. They want to come to work. They want to make more money. Is this a problem with a demographic? I think not. I think not. In fact, I tell you what, I know it's not a problem with demographics because I hire every demographic. I got 25-year-olds. I'll hire 75-year-olds. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what generation you were born in, okay? I know this. If I can have more obsessed people work for me than the people I compete with, I win the game, period, okay? Elon Musk, obsessed. Okay. Jeff Bezos, obsessed, a company called Amazon. Okay. I'm going to change the game. Howard Schultz, obsessed with getting coffee into the hands of people that didn't even drink coffee, much less at 3:00 in the afternoon in Miami on a June day. So is the problem, finding great people, is that the problem or is it the opportunity? I think you need to shift your concept. What is it? Oh, no, it's the opportunity, not the problem. When we moved to Miami from Los Angeles, everybody told me, okay, you're going to have a problem with people here. Dude, I had a problem in LA. I had a problem in San Diego. I had a problem in Houston. I had a problem when I was in Chicago. I've had a problem everywhere I went finding good people. Why? Because you and I live on a planet where average is the commodity that is most accepted by society. So no wonder you got a sales team with a bunch of average people, average results, average interests, making average money, having average ideas, average solutions, and it basically dragged the entire team down to what? Hey, let's just compete rather than let's dominate. You want people on your team that'll do anything for you. I'm talking jump off buildings and run through walls. I want people that work for me that can fly. Okay? Which means what? I cannot have an orderly space. I cannot have HR running my company. I cannot have an executive worried about every little outpoint of the organization. I want beast. And beast do not like heavy regulation, right? I need space. My top guy here, Mike Bonnet, don't tell anybody, but Mike Bonnet is probably less equipped to be the top than other guys I got in there. Definitely got smarter people, okay? I mean, Mike Bonnet, if I go in there right now and say, who is the dumbest person in the room? Mike could, that could be me. But let me tell you, this Mike dude, he's obsessed, man. He's obsessed with the game. He's obsessed with results. He's obsessed with trophies. He's here on Sunday. Sunday, I drive up at 11 o'clock. There's 2 people in the office, me and old Mikey. Now, Mikey is an HR nightmare, okay? Mikey is the guy on Facebook and Snapchat and crazy. He's got 3 kids, by the way, okay? If I walk in a room and say, Mike, let's shoot some pool, Mike will gamble me for pool. He wants to win or wants to lose, but he wants to play. See, that's what I want. And I can't put heavy regulation on the guy because if I do, I will stymie his ability to produce at higher levels. Also, you will never find a Mikey. You'll never find obsessed people if you stay small. You can't stay small and find greatness. It has never been done in the history of the world. It is impossible to find big gold nuggets or big, giant, juicy diamonds if you're just panning for gold in the little river stream. They never come from great organizations need great people. Everybody agrees with that, okay? What do average organizations need? What do average organizations need? They need what? They depend on what? Average people. Average sales teams depend on what? Average people. Average managers. Beast. The beast will not spend time with a squirrel. Okay, now I just keep it real with you guys, all right? You're like, oh, what about some team building exercises? Hey, what about we don't do that? I'm running a company here. We're going to do 100 million. I don't have time for us to go off every time I need to build a team. I don't have time to run off to a ropes course. You know what I got time for? It's called target attainment time, the TAT. Tat, 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 like Bin Laden. Tat, tat, 2 in the head, 1 in the chest just for good measure. Oh man, this Grant Cardone guy, he's over the top. Yeah, I am over the top. I'm obsessed. This is what you get when you get me, right? Test me out, see what it says. Hard to control, difficult to manage. That's what I want. Man, I want people that are hard to control, difficult to manage. In fact, I want people around me I don't have to manage. So how do you attract these people? You don't attract them by having a little picnic park. Who wants a picnic park? People that need safety, right? Who wants a little bench? Oh, here we are. We're all safe and everything's cool and calm. Who wants a the little table that Google has anyway? Okay. Maybe that's big if you're a multi-billion-dollar company, but let's keep it real. You're not listening if you're making a multi-billion dollars a year right now. You're not on this stream. Who's on this stream? You got 1 employee and your wife. You got 2 or 3 people in your company. You got 2 salespeople and you and the owner. You guys actually split the company up because neither one of you were committed. So you thought, I'll put 2 half hearts together and we'll have a whole one. No, you won't. You got 2 people that got a 50% commitment relying on the other person, and the other person today woke up average. And average pulls down everything. Average pulls down everything back to the median. Target attainment. You want to build a team? Target attainment. Get me the freaking number now, okay? Nobody leaves until we get the number. I have to have the number today. Get me reported numbers every 30 minutes if necessary. That is how you build great people. Oh, but I'm going to lose. Yeah, you are. You're going to lose who? You're going to lose Wilbur. Wilbur's been there 14 years. 14 years longer than he should have been. So develop a reputation, okay, for attracting the best people. Develop a reputation for attracting people that get paid more than anybody else in your industry. I have salespeople. Bring me Mike Bonnet, Steve, bring me 3 guys that made 300 grand last year. I got people that work for me that make more money than people that own companies. So how does this create, how is this winning customers? How does this create value for the customer? Look, if your people aren't obsessed, they're going to say no they're going to turn and walk away the first time the customer says no. We just closed a deal with Hertz. Okay. We called Hertz every month for 2 years, 24 months. My guy should have called him twice a month, but he didn't. We got the business. We got the deal because it's $1 million contract. We got the deal because we called every month. Now, if my guys are not obsessed, by the way, how would it benefit a customer if you're just being average? Hey, we got average service, average product. We take care of people. We have average hours. How does that benefit a customer? Why is the idea of obsession such a threat to so many? Okay? The great companies are obsessed. Look at Apple. They're obsessed with their clientele. Look at Snapchat. They're getting 400 billion uses a day. Look at YouTube getting the usage, and they're worried. They're obsessed. Intel, the founder of Intel, Andy Grove, used to say, hey, paranoid, be paranoid, stay paranoid. Somebody's going to come take that market share from you. Always be recruiting, okay? You think Jesus wasn't always recruiting? Steve Jobs wasn't always recruiting? Elon Musk isn't always recruiting? The best sales organizations I know, one of the great salespeople I've ever met in my life was a guy, and I talk about this and be obsessed or be average, a guy named Larry Van Tile. Larry Van Tile was one of the smartest businessmen I've ever known. Sold his company for $4 or $5 billion, or maybe a little more than that, okay? That's just one of his companies. He's got a couple of other companies that's probably worth more than that. Larry, number one thing Larry did every time was when he met you, every person he met, whether you were a banker, an insurance agent, broke, rich, white, black, tall, skinny, short, Republican or Democrat, he tried to recruit you. Everybody was a recruit, okay? I thought he was in network marketing. Then I realized he was a car dealer. He constantly recruited because he knew you can't find that big freaking 2 ounce nugget of gold just sifting for little freaking pebbles. Okay. The guy was always looking. He was always digging for gold and people because he knew his company was dependent, that he was not in the car business. He was in the people business. He also knew and told me this, Grant, people don't cost money. My competitor thinks people cost money. People do not cost money except in recessions when they can't sell something. So always be hiring. Let the world know that you're hiring. Let the world know. But how can you do that? How can you possibly always be hiring when you're worried about your little budget? Back to this. It starts with you. It starts with a commitment. Then you got to add people. Then you got to get rid of people. Then you got to add people. Then you got to get rid of people. Then you got to add people. And then hopefully over time, you got to be obsessed, not with the expansion, not with the reduction. Do not be obsessed with what you lost. This is where the CFO or the treasury or the HR department, our turnover. It's HR, man. Okay? It's way down on the income statement. It's HR. It's not income. Okay? So HR is going to be, our turnover's too high. Nobody asks Google about their turnover. It's never in a report. Everybody's too focused on how much money they make to worry about the turnover. Okay? And by the way, if you want to reduce the turnover, get the success of the top people so good that people actually never want to leave. Okay? If I'm not obsessed, what happens to my people? If they don't see me here on the weekend, they won't come on the weekends. If they see me showing up late, they'll show up late. If I don't pick up the garbage around the building, they won't pick it up. It starts not with management, it starts with ownership. Example, what is your best example of obsessive success? What I'm doing right now, man. Okay, I'll just give you a perfect example today. Got here, I got up at 6, got my kids off to school, gave them a big pat, rock on. Okay, got here at 9 o'clock. Had a meeting this morning at 9:05 that was about 12 minutes long. Reported all the successes we had from yesterday, every number that we had on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. By the way, we had 775,000 articles read on LinkedIn last month. We had 1.1 million views on Facebook yesterday. Okay. Every day I get that report. Also our sales. Also, we go over successes of the company. Who's winning? What happened? How do we do for them? How do we help people? Every day, this is an example of obsessed with success. Every day we share successes. We do not share customer complaints. If you want to compete in this marketplace today at the speed of rate, the speed of velocity, the acceleration that things are dissolving at, old ideas that were fresh a week ago, overnight they're gone. Okay? If you want to move at this rate, you have to become obsessed with getting your products to the marketplace, with having margin, with being profitable, with growing, with bringing in great people, with expanding your product line. You got to be obsessed with all that. Okay, all of that at the same time. How do I get market penetration, raise my margins, keep the profit, expand my company? I mean, unless you're going to go raise the money from Goldman Sachs, that's what most of us have to figure out how to do. How do I get money from the marketplace right now, invest it back into my business, become obsessed with that obsession so that I can continue to expand my business and attract great people. Hey, I hope this helps you. Be obsessed, or let's be friends and you can be average.